In this video, I'm going to tell you the exact reason why footballers cannot tap into the flow state in real games. You see, back in 2020, 2021, I was going through kind of a rough patch in my football career. I was playing for just my local team. I was about 14, 15 years old. And I was really doubting myself whether I could actually make it to the top level. My goal was to make it to, Europe, play at the professional leagues, but I was really kind of doubting myself because I was just playing for my local team. But then I joined one of the top academies in my country because of my natural talent that I had. People knew that I had talent. I had people talk about me in other towns saying I was a good player, I was one of the best players at the club or one of the best players in the region. But when it came to actual games, I would just freeze up. I couldn't really tap into the flow state properly. I had the talent, everyone knew that, and I showed it here and there. I had games where I'd score a hat-trick or games where I'd score 2 goals, 2 winning goals. I'd get, a couple assists, and I had a really good performance. And then the next week, I just couldn't replicate that same performance, that same flow I had in the other game. And it's simply because I just couldn't tap into the flow state consistently, week in, week out. And I knew that my mind was the reason why I couldn't do it. It wasn't because my left foot wasn't good enough or my right foot wasn't good enough or I wasn't fast enough or my footwork wasn't good. I had all that, but my mind just wasn't there. And I tried guided meditation, I tried journaling, I tried affirmations, I tried motivational videos, and I tried all these different kind of mind hacks to improve my mindset, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't transform all this kind of practice into real games. And I'm sure most of you kind of have the same kind of issue. You do all these kind of mind hacks we see on YouTube and Instagram, guided meditation, breathe in for 1 minute and then breathe out, silly stuff like that. You've been told all these affirmations, I'm the best, I'm the greatest in the world, all these journaling hacks, make sure to write down your day and how you're training. It's all good and all, but it doesn't really translate to the real game. The real game's a different world. And when you are in the flow state, you're almost in your own world. You can play effortlessly without even thinking about a thing. So yeah, as I said, I had talent, but I just couldn't show it. And I knew the biggest thing that was holding me back was my mind. And it was until I started doing this one thing that enabled me to tap into the flow state effortlessly every single game. And I could just play on autopilot like it was nothing. It was absolutely amazing. So you probably heard of the flow state before and get into the flow state, or you need to become instant driven and all this stuff, but you probably don't actually know what it is or what it actually feels like. The flow state is basically a state of mind where you are just in the present moment. You are there. Time flies by. You can just play effortlessly. You're doing tricks. You're beating players one-on-one. You're scoring goals. You're getting assists. You're just there in the present moment. That's all it is. You're just in the present moment. Once you start thinking about what you're having for dinner tonight or what training you're going to do tomorrow or, this weekend's performance, that's when you get out of the flow state, all right? The flow state is just being in the present moment at all times. Right now I'm doing this video and I'm kind of in the flow state because I know that I'm doing this video. I know I'm talking. I know there's a camera right there. So I'm in the flow state right now. I'm literally just letting it all flow out effortlessly. This is what you need to feel like on the football pitch. And this is a state of mind that all top footballers feel pretty much every single game. Whenever a footballer has kind of a bad game or has loads of mistakes or misses open goals, they were most likely not in the flow state. Their mind just wasn't there that game. But all the Messis, Ronaldos, Neymars, Mbappe's, all those top players, their best performances were when they were in the flow state. And there was actually a study done in 2013 by Japanese scientists, and they did a study on Neymar, and they found out that he pretty much plays on autopilot every single game. They did a study on his brain or whatever, and they found out that he plays on autopilot every single game. So that means that he's playing without thinking, which is pretty incredible. Everything's just coming to him through instant, all right? And Messi said a quote saying he doesn't even think, it just all comes to him naturally. And this is what we call kind of the natural. And this is what we're all kind of striving to become. And, we get told to do all these kind of weird mind hacks and training, like journaling and, affirmations and meditation and all that stuff. But if I have to be honest, that just doesn't work at all. And the reason why you can't actually get into the flow state every single game, or rarely at all. And I talk to some footballers and they say, oh, I got into the flow state like, I know 2 months ago, I had an incredible game, I scored a hat trick, I don't know what it was, but I just was in the flow state. And then they say, but ever since that, I just can't get into it. You know, how do I do it? How do I do it? First, you need to understand that you can't like snap right into the flow state. You can't just say to yourself, right, you know, I got a game today, let's get into the flow state. It's not just like a switch that you turn on. It's something that happens naturally through a series of practices and habits, all right? And before you say like, I haven't experienced the flow state before, I guarantee you actually have. You just didn't really know it. That's kind of thing. You actually didn't know that you were in the flow state. When you were a kid, you were most likely in a flow state every single time you played, all right? You were just like effortlessly there in the game, scoring goals, because you didn't even give a damn about anything in the world. The flow state is basically that like kid-like feeling. That's what we're striving to get back. And most of you guys have kind of lost it due to our modern kind of toxic world that we're in with social media, the news, and just like all this junk that we're consuming. So we know what the flow state is now. So you're probably thinking like, how do I actually get into it, Harvey? Well, the reason why you can't get into it is because your mind is simply too cluttered. That's literally it. Like when you're in the flow state, you're not thinking about anything. You're just in the present moment. So the reason why you can't get into it is because your mind is too cluttered in the first place. And this is simply due to social media, you know, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, all this kind of junk that we're consuming 24/7 is inhibiting your ability to tap into the flow state. You are getting cheap dopamine from instant gratification sources such as social media, porn, fast food, vaping, all that junk. This is cluttering up your mind. Toxic people as well, toxic teammates, toxic coaches. These are getting into your mind and inhibiting your ability to tap into the flow state. You see, I used to consume so much football content on social media. You know, I'd follow all the trainers on Instagram, all the trainers on TikTok, and I'd also consume so much junk on TikTok, just like memes and, you know, all that crap that we all watch. And on YouTube, I used to spend hours like watching, you know, the best cone drills, the best dribbling routines, the best stretching stuff, the best workouts. I'd watch all that. And that inhibited my ability to tap into the flow state on the football pitch because I was just simply overcomplicating the sport. End of the day, football is quite a simple sport. It's just literally 2 goals, some outlines, 22 players, 11 each, and a ball. And all you have to do is get that ball into the goal. That's literally football. But yet people overcomplicate it so much. You know, we've got all these workouts, training, diets, supplements, all these special hacks and exercises to make you a better player on the pitch. But you need to realize that football is so much more simpler than, you know, people make it out to be. And that you realize, all right? You see, so many footballers get caught up in all this kind of like hacks and routines and workouts and training. And that was me as well. I'd get so caught up. I'd be thinking more about my off the pitch training compared to actually like performing on the pitch. How crazy does that sound? You spend so much time off the pitch, training, working out, all that stuff. But when it comes to actually playing the real game, you can't perform. Like, it should be the other way around. You should care less about your training and your workouts and care more about being in the present moment and playing the real game. Because end of the day, 11v11, that's football. That's the real game. That's what matters the most. No one actually cares about how much training you do or how many drills you do after school. No one actually cares about that stuff. All they care about is winning on game day and scoring goals. That's all that matters. All right? So what I'm trying to say here is that you need to stop overcomplicating the sport. It's literally 2 goals, a ball, and some players on the pitch trying to get the ball into the goal. That's all football is. And once you realize that, you'll be able to play much better because you're not overcomplicating everything. You're not thinking, oh, should I pass there? Or should I pass there? Or should I dribble into that space? Or should I move there? Should I move there? No, you just need to do your job on the pitch, be in the present moment, realize that you're here playing football, playing a game, and then you'll be able to tap into the flow state much more effortlessly because you're not overcomplicating the sport. Not to mention, once you start getting real dopamine from real sources such as nature, the sun, obviously there's no sun here, but like getting outside, grounding, being barefoot on natural ground, talking to real people who are positive. This is real dopamine, eating good food, not eating so many carbs and processed junk that is just fogging up your brain. You need to eat real food such as meat, eggs, and raw dairy. This will actually give your brain good health. That's actually a thing, brain health. By you eating too many carbs and processed junk, which load of chemicals and seed oils, this is fogging up your brain, and this is why you can't think clearly on the pitch. So what I did in 2022, so 2020, 2021, I was struggling with confidence, I was struggling with getting into the flow state, I was struggling with fulfilling my full potential on the football pitch. I couldn't showcase it. What I did is a dopamine detox. So for 30 days straight, I deleted YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, didn't watch porn, didn't listen to music, didn't watch movies. I just did a dopamine detox, and I just really reconnected back with nature. So this meant going outside more, getting my bare feet on the natural ground, going for long walks out in nature, getting the sun on my skin and in my eyes, reading lots of books, and just hanging out with good people and playing different sports. This is what I did. And of course, I did my football training, ball and wall work, barefoot juggling, barefoot dribbling. This is what I did to detox and, reset my dopamine receptors. Because 99% of you guys, your dopamine receptors in your brain are absolutely fried from, social media, fast food, probably vaping, all these chemicals in our modern day world. They are frying your dopamine receptors. So this is why you can't think clearly on the football pitch. So what I highly recommend you do is get off social media. I know it's easier said than done, but all you need to do is just delete the app. Or if you don't want to go that far, then at least just unfollow people that aren't providing value to your life. This could mean people in high school that you haven't seen for like 3-4 years. Delete them, unfollow them. Doesn't matter, no one cares. Only follow people that provide value to your life. So that could be me, providing value with these videos or on my Instagram. Unfollow people that are just providing useless information in your life that you don't need. All right, this could mean celebrities. This could mean girls on Instagram. Just unfollow them. You don't need this instant rush of dopamine in your life. It's distracting you from playing well on the football pitch and on game day. All right, this is what I personally did. And after those 30 days of dopamine detox, I re-downloaded all the apps and I made a plan on how I would use these apps. I made a plan on, I'm only going to use Instagram maybe in the evenings when I've done all my training and my work, my schoolwork, for example. This is what I did. I re-downloaded back the apps and I made a plan for myself. So I'm not mindlessly scrolling on Instagram and TikTok like I was back in 2020 and 2021. And if you want like a full guide on how to do a dopamine detox properly and get kind of coaching and mentorship, then I have a private community which you can find in the link in the description. You can join right now if you wish. I have a full guide on how to do a dopamine detox properly and how I did it, so you're not wasting time, because there's so many like dopamine detox kind of guides out there on YouTube, and to be honest, they're just rubbish. They don't actually like give you the full details on how to do it. So I have a community and a guide, so first link in the description to join. And lastly, to kind of declutter your mind and get real dopamine, you need to do more things in the real world. You need to go experience real life. Most of you guys are playing FIFA till like probably, 11 p.m, 1 a.m. I know what you guys are doing. You're playing FIFA, locking yourself in your bedroom, thinking, oh, I've done my training for today. I've done my 2 hours of dribbling and shooting and cone drills or something. I've done my training today. Now I'm going to go rest. And your rest is pretty much just lock yourself in your bedroom, scroll on TikTok for hours and play FIFA. Because this is what I did. I know exactly what you guys are doing. That was what I did. I would play FIFA for like 3-4 hours after doing my training because I thought I'd done myself good for the day because I did my training. That's not how this works. You need to go out into the real world. Once you've done your training, stay outside and go for a walk in the city. Go for a walk in the town and meet people. Go just explore the real world. Talk to real people. This will help your mental health so much and take your mind off football for once. Because I guarantee you, when you get back home from training, you are thinking about it a lot. You are thinking about how you played, or, oh, I didn't do that drill properly. This is what I used to feel like. I'd do my training for like 2 hours or whatever, and then I'll come back and I wouldn't be happy with it. I'll be like, oh, I didn't do that dribbling right. I wasn't dribbling well. I wasn't shooting. Oh, I missed so many goals, you know. This is actually what I was thinking about, and I guarantee you this is what you're thinking about with your individual trainings and team trainings and games. What you need to do is take your mind off the game, take your mind off football, and go explore the real world, do some real things, go for walks, meet real people, hang out with your friends, okay? This will help your performance so much because you'll be able to tap into the flow state because you're not overcomplicating the sport. And the last thing I recommend is when you go do your individual trainings or just train in general, don't schedule things out. Don't like write out your training session on notes or like a piece of paper and say, okay, I'm going to do my warm up for 5 minutes and I'm going to juggle the ball for 10 minutes. I'm going to do 200 touches with my right foot and 200 touches with my left foot. Don't plan this stuff out. It's literally overcomplicating the sport. See, for the last 2 years now, when I go train, I don't plan anything. I don't even plan how long I'm going to play for. I just grab my footballs, grab my boots, put them on, chuck out the footballs and just do some dribbling, juggling, shooting, whatever. I don't plan it out on notes, like autistically planning out. That is what I used to do. I used to have like a full juggling routine and it would give me like 1,000 touches every session and I'd do it every single day, and it may have helped, but it just overcomplicated the sport. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You just need to play football, juggle the ball, dribble around, shoot. Don't worry if you miss the goal, just go get the ball and get it back. Stop overcomplicating the sport. And once you kind of train in this like free kind of way, you'll be able to play freely on the pitch because you haven't overcomplicated the sport, okay? This is what it takes. It's almost like unrestricted training. You just need to dribble around, no cones, no poles, just dribble around, do whatever comes to your mind. Practice in the flow state and then you'll be able to play in the flow state. The thing is, your training right now isn't actually enabling you to tap into the flow state because it's restricting your mind. It's all about freeing up your mind and decluttering it. That's all it is, all right? And I have a full training program on how to train like an instant-driven footballer so you can actually tap into the flow state in the real game. Link in the description to join the community. I have a full training plan there so you know what you need to do and what drills you need to do. It's just all there for you and you can just pick and choose what you wish, whatever you feel like doing that day. That's the beauty of natural training, and I have that all inside of my private community, the Natural Freedom Hub. So yes guys, that is the biggest reason why you can't tap into the flow state. It's because your mind is simply too cluttered. Your mind is fogged up from processed foods, social media, porn, bad friends, bad habits, and poor sleep, and just simply not working with nature. That's all it is. You just need to work with nature, get outside in the sun, do grounding, talk to real people and eat real food. And I guarantee you, you'll be able to tap into the flow state effortlessly every single game. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.